captain any chance? Tom Roberts?
Yes, he is a chance. We'll wait for training today, but let's hope so.
How much do you need him back?
How much we need him back? Oh, well, we need a lot of things to happen at our footy club. We need good players are out there. It obviously helps us, but no one can play this game if they're not fit to play, so it's as simple as that. I'd love to give you an answer right now, but we'll have training this afternoon and more than likely pick him in the team and then wait and see how he goes.
What does he need to do this afternoon, Leppitsch, to convince you that he's right to go?
Probably stop whinging and complaining about it, be the first start, but the second thing is he has to be able to do all the movements that are in the game. If he can do all those, he'll more than likely wear a brace, so the impact won't be an issue. And then we've ticked all the boxes, haven't we? So that we just have to get through training first of all and see how that goes.
Surprised how quickly he's got himself back in contention.
Yeah, I am. I guess it's an injury that first was 4 or 5 weeks, but we've often seen guys come back quicker with these types of things because a lot of it's based around how you feel, not so much, a load-bearing injury. So so it's not really worried about whether he come back early or not, as long as he's back.
You've obviously had a few more injuries this week as well.
Yep. No, there's no curse. We'll be fine. You always have your ups and downs throughout a year, and it's funny, this year's played out a little bit similar to last, where the early rounds have had some big injuries, but look, we're slowly getting those players back, and you get a win this week, you drip feed some confidence back into the group, and we can regain our season. It's only very early, and the place is very positive. So look, whilst we've had a bit of a bad luck at the moment, those things turn around.
So you haven't had to sort of change, you're only 3 weeks in, you haven't had to change your expectations or your thoughts from the start of the season?
No, not really, no. I mean, I think a lot of the things, what we've proven at the moment is we started playing the same way really well in the pre-season, and we've sort of dropped away from that a little bit, and there's reasons why. We probably haven't got long enough to talk about them, but we've got to fix those, and that's as simple as it is. And every player has to do their 2%, and every coach has to do his 2%. I mean, if we do that, we're 100% better. That's just the facts of footy clubs. I mean, it's not one person, it's not one thing. Collectively as a group, we're doing probably 2 things right, 1 thing wrong. In AFL, that's not enough. It's 3 out of 3, and that's just the standard we've got to set.
Where's he at the moment?
Well, he's played reserves and he had a good game last week. Once again, there'll be a selection issue. So, but look, Steph did pretty well on his own. Those things will get thrown around today.
Need to rock and roll against Nick Mananui and Lissette?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think that one thing that proven against us, and we had the 2 rucks, the opposition came in with 1 and did okay. So, no, I don't think that's necessarily the issue.
Is there any sort of advantage left that they've had 1 less day's rest and have to travel from Perth? Like, is that something you can? And it's going to be a afternoon game. Could be warm. Is that an advantage for you guys?
Look, I don't think so. I think consecutive travels probably hurt you more than just the one-off side, and they're going to have their 7-day rest. So look, no, I don't think that their preparation to ours. So I think sometimes the later the preparation, the more the mind switches off, to be honest, what I've seen. So sometimes 8-day breaks can be worse than 6s in some capacity. So look, I don't think the preparation's an issue.
How much work do you think to change?
Well, it's not that hard. Play a bloke on him. Like how much work do you do on a key forward? I mean, it's you put your best defender on him, probably be Clarkey, and and try and support him as much as you can. I mean, that's about all you can do with that. I mean, you can't flood your whole backline just for one particular player, change your whole game styling. But all you can do is put your best defender on him and hopefully get good support from the fellow defenders around.
What was the most disappointing thing that came out of the review on Monday? Obviously, the 4th quarter you were unhappy with.
Yeah, probably the worst part was probably the 6 goals in the last 10 minutes. The Adelaide game last year was very similar. It was an 80-point loss, but it didn't feel like it. It could have been potentially a 30-point loss. And just for us to drop away and lose hope in that last 10 minutes is disappointing. We don't want to stand for that. So that was the most frustrating part.
Harris Andrews get another go?
Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah.
What can you do about that? Is it a fitness thing? Is it a mental thing? Can you put your finger on?
Look, I think as a group we have to talk about it, discuss it, and it's very much a mental thing, isn't it? It's not so much a physical thing. It's just about hanging in there and perseverance.
Are those the worries from the first 3 games? It's just there seems to be these little periods where it just everything, the team just gets swamped with us?
Yeah, look, and there's lots, as I said before, there are lots of little things. I mean, for a young player, it's because he lost concentration for a second, or he felt the pressure when he actually wasn't under pressure, and sometimes for experienced players, it's just they're not working hard enough. And we go, and it's different degrees for every different person, and we try and hit those up individually and challenge our players and develop them and get them right. So that's all you can do. And some players that we think that aren't holding up the end of the bargain will end up in the reserves. That's just the way footy goes until they get it right. That's the cycle, and that's the cycle we live in.
Talked about leadership after the games. That's something you had to address with the leadership group during the week?
Yeah, we spoke with our leaders, and look, and don't worry, we've got two of our best leaders on the sidelines at the moment, and you know, what does a leader do? And I really think quite simplistically, you know, whenever the play stops, they're not the ones looking at their shoes, they're the ones directing traffic, and I think we need more guys doing that. You know, it's a difficult game we play. They run, 15 kilometres a game. You want to get your rest periods, you want to use it to have a real rest sometimes, and we've got to make sure we go to the next level and making sure those rest periods are used in directing, instructing and encouraging our group, and I think that's the gap, and the only difference between us and the best teams is they do it for longer, and that's what we have to get to.
Given the injuries and, as you said, the leadership stuff, is there a bit more pressure, I guess, on Rocky to come back a little bit early then?
Nah, Tom will only come back if he's fit to play. It doesn't bother me if we're 0 and 18. You're only playing a fit player if he's there, because it can only make him potentially worse and make his rehab longer. So I don't think that's the right way to go about it.
Coach, you're having a kind of a similar start to last year. Is it a case like, oh man, here we go again, or not?
Yeah, a little bit, here we go again. But we won our first game on Anzac Day last year, if you remember, over in New Zealand. So maybe it's destiny again. We just have to. Maybe next year we can bring round one back to Anzac Day. Who knows? Who knows? We'll wait and see. Let's hope it starts this week, and then we can kick-start some positivity back from. Well, the group's been pretty good, but particularly from the external part of our club.
There has been so much criticism. Is there anyone who's stood up and impressed today?
Yeah, there is. There's quite a few players. Particularly, Jaden McGrath, we lost him for 12 weeks, but the ability for our first-year players to compete, Harris Andrews, I think's been exceptional, and to buy into what we're doing. So that part's been exciting, but yeah, there's lots of little things. Yeah.